Taurus, what I'm about to reveal isn't easy to hear, but it's crucial that you know. Something extremely serious is moving in your direction right now. It's not a distant possibility. It's not a maybe. It's an absolute certainty that will irreversibly impact your life in the coming weeks. And you have two options. You can consciously prepare and take control of the situation, or you can be caught off guard and swept away by forces that will seem much bigger than you. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to wake you up, because what's coming doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't wait for your permission. It doesn't adapt to your comfort. It's going to happen anyway. The only variable is whether you'll be prepared or not. And the difference between those two realities is monumental. It could mean the difference between you emerging from this situation strengthened and empowered, or spending years trying to recover from an impact that could have been much less traumatic. I'm going to reveal exactly what this very serious event is, why it's happening specifically to you right now, what signs you should already be noticing, and most importantly, what you need to do immediately to position yourself so that this becomes a powerful transformation instead of a catastrophe. Are you ready to hear a truth that will completely change your perception of your current life? Taurus, the truth I need to tell you is this: the life you have been building with such care is about to be demolished. Not partially, not gradually, completely. Everything you considered solid, secure, and permanent will be tested in a way you never imagined possible. And it's not punishment. It's not bad luck. It's a necessary cosmic reorganization, because you are living a version of life that no longer serves your true purpose. You've spent years building safety walls around yourself. You've created routines that give you a sense of control. You've accumulated things, people, and situations that act as emotional anchors, and you did all this with good intentions, because your Taurian spirit naturally seeks stability. But here's the brutal truth. You confuse stability with stagnation. You built a comfortable prison and called it home, and the universe has decided it's time to demolish those walls, even if you scream that you don't want to, that you're not ready, that you need more time. For those born under the sign of Taurus between April 20th and April 30th, this very serious event will manifest itself primarily through forced changes in the financial or professional area. Something you considered guaranteed will prove unstable. For those born between May 1st and May 10th, the impact will be more intense on relationships and partnerships. Someone or something you considered permanent will abruptly leave your life. And for those born between May 11th and May 20th, the crisis will happen internally, a rupture in how you see and define yourself that will shake your emotional foundations. But regardless of when you were born, all Taurians will experience the same central feeling: a total loss of control. That illusion that you can plan and predict everything will be shattered, and it will be terrifying at first. It will feel like the ground is disappearing from beneath your feet. But here's what you urgently need to understand. That ground was never as solid as you thought. It was an illusion of security, and when it disappears, you'll discover you can fly. Are you prepared to let go of what you always thought kept you safe and discover you never needed it? What makes this moment especially serious for you is that it's not a change you chose. It's not something you planned or prepared for. It will arrive like a tsunami. You'll see strange signs in the ocean. You'll feel the water receding unnaturally, and then you'll realize too late that a gigantic wave is coming. And when it arrives, it will sweep everything away. Absolutely everything that isn't essential, everything that isn't truly yours, everything you were holding on to out of fear instead of love. The reason this is happening now has to do with an accumulation of choices you've been putting off for years. Situations you knew deep down you needed to change but kept because change seemed too daunting. Relationships that died long ago but that you continue to artificially keep alive. Jobs that drain your soul but that you don't quit because they represent financial security. versions of yourself that you outgrew long ago but continue to portray because the people around you expect it of you. The universe has observed you trapped in this inertia, in this refusal to evolve, in this stubbornness to keep everything as it is, even when everything inside you screams that it needs to change. And it has concluded that you will never make these changes voluntarily, that you will spend your whole life planning to change but never actually doing it. So it has decided to do it for you. It will force the change. It will remove from you everything that is preventing your evolution, even if you resist with all your might. And here's the hardest part to accept. When this happens, you'll want to blame the universe, fate, other people, external circumstances. It will seem like you're a victim of cruel forces beyond your control. But the truth is, you created this. Not consciously, but through your systematic refusal to make difficult choices when it was still possible to make them at your own pace. You had hundreds of opportunities to change voluntarily, clear signs that you needed to act, but you chose inertia. And now the change will happen in a much more dramatic and painful way than it would have if you had acted when the first warnings came. But listen carefully. I'm not telling you this to make you feel guilty or scared. I'm telling you this because you still have a window, a very small window, but a window nonetheless, to consciously position yourself in the face of what is coming. If you act now, at this very moment, before the very serious event fully manifests, you can transform what would be a chaotic catastrophe into a powerful and focused transformation. The difference between these two scenarios is your willingness to voluntarily let go of what will be ripped away from you anyway. If you can identify what in your life is dead, but you continue to keep alive, and have the courage to let go now, you will be collaborating with the transformation instead of resisting it. And when you collaborate, the process is still intense, still uncomfortable, but it is not destructive. It is liberating. Taurus, a feeling that something needs to change, but you don't know exactly what. Sleepless nights where you ruminate on your life. Moments of panic where you ask yourself, is that all? A deep restlessness that you can't name. These weren't symptoms of depression or a midlife crisis. They were warnings from your spirit trying to prepare you for what's coming. Your deepest self knew that change was inevitable and was trying to warn you, to give you time to prepare psychologically. But you probably ignored those signs. You muffled them with distractions, work, food, entertainment, anything that could temporarily silence that inner voice that insisted something was wrong. And the more you ignored it, the louder the alarm grew. Until now, it's reached the point where the universe has no choice but to intervene directly. Because if you continue down this path, you will completely waste the extraordinary potential you came to develop in this life. The extremely serious event that is approaching is not a punishment. It is a rescue. You are being rescued from a life that was never truly yours, from an existence built on what you thought you should be instead of what you truly are, from a gilded prison where everything looks good on the outside, but you are dying inside. And yes, the rescue will be violent. It will shake everything. It will seem like your life is crumbling, but in reality, what is crumbling is only the illusion. The true reality, much more powerful and authentic, is emerging. Do you know what's most incredible about all this? A year from now, when you look back, you'll find it hard to believe you ever resisted this change. You'll wonder why it took you so long to let go of what was clearly going to end. You'll feel profound gratitude for having been forced to do what you didn't have the courage to do alone. But to reach that point of gratitude and clarity, you first need to navigate the chaos of transition. And that's exactly why I'm preparing you now. When the very serious event occurs, and it will, make no mistake, you will go through very specific phases. First will come denial. You will try to minimize, rationalize, find ways to keep everything as it is. It doesn't work. Change is inevitable. Then will come anger. You will feel wronged. You will question why this is happening to you. Normal but useless. The energy of anger is better used for action than for lamentation. Then fear will come. A deep, primal fear that you won't be able to survive without the crumbling structures. This is the most critical moment. It's when most people panic and make desperate decisions that only make things worse. You need to breathe through this fear. You need to remember that you are much stronger and more resilient than you imagine. The Taurians have an extraordinary capacity to rebuild when necessary, that you are not being destroyed, you are being renewed. After fear comes bargaining. You'll try to make deals with the universe, promising to change this or that. If you can keep some things, it's no use. What needs to go will go. There's no possible negotiation. And finally, if you get through all these phases without getting lost in them, you'll reach acceptance. And with acceptance comes a deep peace, a surprising clarity and a power you didn't know you possessed. Can you trust that there's something on the other side of this chaos that's worth every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of uncertainty? Taurus, what worries me most isn't the very serious event itself. Events happen, changes are inevitable. What worries me is your reaction to it. Because if you react with typical Taurian stubbornness, if you fight the tide instead of learning to swim with it, you'll hurt yourself much more than necessary. You'll prolong your suffering. You'll transform what could be 3 months of intensity into 3 years of agony. So listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. When you feel your life is falling apart, don't try to hold on to the rubble. Let it fall. Let it break. Let what needs to end. Because only when you completely let go will you be able to see what truly matters amidst the wreckage, and only what truly matters will endure. The rest was dead weight you were unnecessarily carrying. Conversations that reveal truths you didn't want to see. Situations that become complicated in unexpected ways. People showing their true colors. Structures that begin to crack. Don't ignore these signs. They are your last warnings before the main impact. Use them to begin mentally letting go of what you know you'll have to physically let go of soon. And while you're doing that, also start identifying what is absolutely essential in your life, what you can't imagine living without. Not the things that give you comfort or convenience, but the things that give you meaning and purpose, because those essential things, those are the things you will protect. Those are the things you will fight to keep. And interestingly, those are exactly the things that won't be in danger. What is in danger is everything that is superficial, everything that is based on fear, everything that you keep for the wrong reasons. This extremely serious event will act as a brutal filter, separating what is real from what is illusion in your life. And yes, it will hurt to discover how much of your life was an illusion, how much of what you thought was solid was actually built on sand. But this pain is necessary. It's medicinal. It's the kind of pain that heals instead of destroying, as long as you don't resist it. Taurus, one of the things you urgently need to understand is that resisting inevitable change is like trying to stop a moving train by placing your body on the tracks. You won't stop the train. You'll only hurt yourself terribly. Wisdom lies not in preventing what cannot be prevented. It lies in learning to move with what is in motion, in using the energy of change in your favor instead of against you. And here's something that might surprise you. Deep down, you know all of this is true. You know your current life isn't sustainable. You know changes need to happen. You know you're holding on to things that should have been released long ago. The only reason you haven't acted yet is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, fear of discovering you're not as strong as you need to be. But these fears are lies. You are incredibly strong. You have inner resources you've never needed to use because you've always had the option of avoiding difficult situations. But now you'll be forced to discover these resources. And when you do, you'll be surprised by your own power. What's coming will destroy your comfort zone, but it will reveal your power zone. It will shatter your illusions of security, but it will give you real security based on deep self-knowledge and confidence in your ability to handle any situation. It will take away everything that is external and temporary, but it will give you access to what is internal and eternal. It's an extremely favorable trade, but you'll only realize that after you go through the transition. During this remaining preparation period, focus on strengthening your emotional and spiritual center. Because when everything around you is in chaos, you will need an internal anchor point. You cannot depend on external structures to feel safe, because those structures will be crumbling. You need to find security within yourself, and the good news is that this inner security has always been there. You just never needed to access it because you always had external crutches. But the crutches are being removed, and you will discover that you can walk alone better than you ever imagined. Taurus, the very serious event that is coming is not the end. It is the end of one era and the beginning of another. And the new era will be so superior to the old that you will have difficulty understanding how you tolerated the old one for so long. But to reach the new era, you need to let the old one die completely. You cannot try to carry baggage from the past into the future. You need to travel light. You need to carry only your essence, your truth, your real purpose. Everything else is weight that will prevent you from flying. And flying is exactly what you're going to do after this storm passes. You're going to discover freedoms you didn't even know existed. You're going to experience levels of authenticity and personal power that were always possible, but that you never accessed because you were trapped in safe but limiting structures. You're going to connect with people and opportunities on a completely different frequency than you operated on before. You're going to create a life that is truly yours instead of a life you inherited from the expectations of others. But for all of this to manifest, you first need to destroy what exists. And destruction is coming. It's coming fast. It's coming inevitably. And you have only two choices. You can consciously participate in the destruction, identifying what needs to go and letting go with intention and gratitude for what it represented in your life. Or you can be forced to watch as everything is ripped away from you without your consent, fighting uselessly against the inevitable. The first option is infinitely wiser. It requires courage, yes. It requires humility to admit that you built some things on the wrong foundations. It requires a willingness to face the unknown without guarantees. But it also gives you dignity and power in the process. It allows you to be an active participant instead of a passive victim. It gives you the opportunity to learn and grow through the experience instead of just suffering through it. In the coming days, pay close attention to what causes you the most anxiety. What makes you wake up in the middle of the night with your heart racing? What do you desperately try not to think about? These are exactly the areas where the very serious event will have its first impact. Your anxiety is not random. It's your intuition trying to warn you, to give you time to prepare emotionally for what's coming. And when it finally arrives, when the first impact happens, remember what I told you here. Remember that it's not the end, it's a transformation. Remember that you are stronger than you imagine. Remember that the universe is not against you, it's in your favor, even when it seems otherwise. Remember that everything you lose was meant to be lost, and everything that remains is what truly matters. Share in the comments if you've been feeling this increasing pressure, this feeling that something big and inevitable is approaching. Your courage to share will help other Taurians recognize that they are not alone in this transition. Subscribe to the channel now because you'll need a lot of support and guidance during and after this event. You'll need constant reminders that you're on the right track, even when it seems like everything is falling apart. You'll need perspectives that help you see the greater meaning in the apparent chaos. Turn on notifications to receive exactly what you need to hear during the most difficult moments to come. Something very serious is about to happen. But very serious doesn't necessarily mean bad. It means intense, it means transformative, it means your life will never be the same again. And that could be the best thing that ever happened to you if you allow it. The choice of how you will experience what's coming is yours. Choose wisely.